The introduction of the Remaster Zero by Audemars Piguet was a bold move, attempting to reimagine a rare 1940s chronograph and infuse a sense of vintage charm into the modern era. The watch, despite its potential, faced a challenging start, reminiscent of cringeworthy school assemblies where adults tried too hard to connect with a younger audience. The naming itself, Remaster Zero evoked a sense of trying to be down with the kids, akin to adults donning backward caps and performing cringeworthy raps about the dangers of drugs. The launch presentation seemed to risk more bemusement than appreciation, setting a tone that could be counterproductive. The analogy extends to the potential impact, where the watch could either rejuvenate the brand's historical allure or risk becoming a misstep. The narrator alludes to another instance involving an expensive watch based on a popular superhero, where the design choice led to unintended and awkward visual associations. In essence, the Remaster Zero faced a considerable challenge from the start, not only in its design but also in the way it was presented to the audience. The ultimate judgment of the watch's success would depend on its ability to transcend these initial impressions and find appreciation among watch enthusiasts. To further elaborate on the notion of Audemars Piguet insisting on the term remaster for their watch, it's essential to delve into the nuances of this choice. The company's deliberate avoidance of terms like reissue or homage is intriguing, considering the potential negative connotations associated with the term remaster. Typically, in the realm of music or film, a remaster is often viewed as a strategy employed by record labels or studios to capitalize on the commercial success of an older product. This, in turn, might not inherently evoke a positive perception when applied to a luxury watch. It raises a critical question: why did Audemars Piguet opt for this specific terminology? The answer lies in the company's attempt to position the timepiece as more than just a nostalgic recreation or a revival of a past design. By labeling it as a remaster, Audemars Piguet seeks to emphasize a meticulous and nuanced process, akin to the refinements made in studio recordings. Yet, the analogy to music remastering might not be immediately intuitive to the average consumer, introducing a potential communication challenge for the brand. The argument that a remaster in the context of music involved subjective alterations to cater to modern tastes is an interesting parallel. In the 80s, studio mixes were often criticized for being thin on bass, while contemporary preferences lean towards a more pronounced bass presence. This analogy invites a comparison between the auditory preferences of different eras and the aesthetic preferences in watch design. In essence, the term remaster becomes a pivotal element, not just in the context of the watch itself, but in the brand's communication strategy. It opens up a dialogue about the intersection of tradition and modernity, craftsmanship and consumer preferences, adding layers of complexity to the narrative surrounding this timepiece. Audemars Piguet's choice of language for this watch, specifically using remaster, draws a comparison to album reissues rather than horological innovation. The Remaster Zero, a cumbersome name to repeatedly type, seems to have been enveloped in skepticism from the outset, thanks to the apparent disconnect in terminology. The watch faces an uphill battle, having to prove itself amidst this preemptive cynicism before even starting its timekeeping journey. Now, diving into the evaluation, exploring the lower registers and accentuating the highs, the crucial question emerges: is the Audemars Piguet reissue 001 truly fantastic, or does it fall flat on its horological face? Awaiting the verdict, fantastic or fail. The muse for this contemporary counterpart is the 1943 reference 1533, and by inspire, it's essentially a modern copy. Every distinctive element, from the striking blend of steel and rose gold, the unique inverted teardrop lugs, and the slender pushers to the gold dial with elongated script, the timeless logo, and even the red 45-minute marker, has been faithfully recreated. Given the discussed details, the decision to make it visually identical is entirely acceptable. The watch was aesthetically appealing in 1943, and its timeless beauty persists into the present day. Although the Remaster Zero maintains its visual likeness to the original, notable changes have been introduced, particularly catering to contemporary preferences. The new iteration boasts a 40mm diameter and a thickness of 14.6mm, distinctly modern dimensions diverging from the original's 36mm. The larger size, however, stirred controversy, with opinions split on its suitability for a modern watch. While some argue that 40mm is acceptable, others suggest a slightly smaller size of 38 to 39mm might have been more favorable. The size debate prompted varied reactions, from acceptance to outright offense. Internally, the watch houses the caliber 4409, an automatic chronograph movement initially featured in the code 1159 collection. The nomenclature, including the name Remaster 01 and the code 1159, has faced criticism for its perceived lack of creativity. The caliber 4409 inside the Remaster 01 aims to blend the aesthetic charm of a vintage watch with the modern convenience of a fully automatic movement. Featuring a flyback function, a substantial 70-hour power reserve, and a 28,800 VPH beat rate, it eliminates the need for daily hand-winding, a departure from its predecessor. This approach draws parallels with the ethos behind Singer's Porsches, where classic aesthetics meet modern performance and reliability. In the case of the Remaster 01, it's akin to maintaining the vintage charm while enjoying the advantages of a contemporary, fully automatic movement, distinguishing it from the Singer analogy, where bespoke components retain the essence of the original air-cooled, naturally aspirated engine. The key question surrounding the Remaster 01 revolves around its modern features, particularly the use of the caliber 4409. The decision to opt for this movement, with its automatic functionality, diverges from a more authentic tribute to the original watch's movement. The 1943 reference 1533 housed a third-party Valjoux movement, indicating a more accurate representation would involve a movement like the Valjoux 7750. The use of third-party movements in vintage chronographs was common due to cost considerations. The original movement, the caliber 13 VZAH, reflected this trend. While the Remaster Zero captures the vintage aesthetic, a closer adherence to the original might have involved a different movement choice, aligning more closely with the era's hand-wound chronographs, even if from Valjoux or Alemania. The decision to incorporate a contemporary automatic movement introduces a layer of complexity in defining the watch's authenticity and homage to its predecessor. The caliber 4409, while well-finished and practical with its automatic features, doesn't match the aesthetic allure of the original 13 VZAH movement. The question of whether the convenience of an automatic movement outweighs the charm of a less practical, hand-wound one remains subjective. Audemars Piguet's decision to use the caliber 4409 introduces a dichotomy between practicality and vintage authenticity. The Remaster 01's status as a classic will only be determined over time, and Audemars Piguet's divergence from the norm showcases an exciting exploration in watchmaking. Limited to 500 units and priced at $53,000, it represents a distinctive choice that might not be encountered by many, but adds an intriguing chapter to Audemars Piguet's horological narrative. What would you choose? This, the Vacheron Constantin Cornes de Vache, or something else? Let us know in the comments below. And that's a wrap. Thanks for being here with us at Ventichic. Don't forget to like and comment on this video, and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. See you in our next video.